This is against freedom, our freedoms, because our freedoms are getting violated. This is against what the Constitution stands for. Who is paying for those costs, and where is the money coming from? Is this hatred towards the church? Is this jealousy towards the church? What makes a person to be able to say such comments, to say such things, to say such remarks, to say such sentences? Welcome to Church Defenders Podcast, and I'm your host, Pastor Masunyane. This is a platform whereby truth meets courage. Here we sit down with pastors, church leaders, as we speak about matters that affect the body of Christ here in South Africa. And today I'm here alone because I want you to know about the current affairs, what is currently happening within the CRL Rights Commission and their push for state control of the church. With the previous months, the CRL Rights Commission has been doing consultations. They started those consultations in KZN, and there in KZN there were protests. I'm going to show you the pictures, I'm going to show you the videos as I'm talking, that there were protests around their consultation processes that they were pushing for in KZN. And some of the people who represent the South African Church Defenders there in KZN, they were told that they were not welcome. They were not welcome because they were wearing South African Church Defenders t-shirts. And during these consultations, there were pastors who rejected the CRL Section 22 consultation and the bogus Section 22, and they made it clear that they do not want to be part of what the CRL Rights Commission is proposing. And then this week there were consultations also in the Eastern Cape, in East London. Pastors stood up there in East London and they rejected the Section 22 consultation and the Section 22. What we see here, it is the push by the CRL Rights Commission to force legislation through the throats of the Christian sector. A lot of questions were raised, and a lot of pastors began to ask the CRL Section 22 questions about who is it that gave them, who has actually made them to be legitimate when it comes to the processes that they are pushing. Who is it that has actually given them the permission to go about doing these consultations? And one of the most crucial and important questions, which was, you are coming to the Christian sector. This was a question that was raised during those consultations, that you are coming to the Christian sector with a draft framework that has already been drafted. And the pastors in East London asked, where is this draft framework coming from? Who drafted it? And how was it approved? Who approved it? You are saying that you are coming to us, you are here to consult us, but already you have a draft framework that is already flawed, the draft framework that is speaking about certification, a draft framework that is speaking about licensing and registration. And initially they even were able to say, this is what you proposed 2017, but now the only thing that has changed, it is the language. You are still presenting us with regulation. The CRL Rights Commission is not for self-regulation. They are speaking regulation. The moment you begin to start talking about parliament, you start talking about legislation, you start talking about the law, watch this. These are videos that I'm going to play for you that you will be able to see what the CRL Rights Commission Chairperson, Thoko Mkhwanazi-Xaluva, and Dr. John Maloma, the Section 22 Committee Chairperson, is currently proposing.
In this country, doctors have the Health Professionals Council, lawyers have Law Society. Every profession in this country, they are regulated by your peers. We are saying this thing called Christianity needs to be regulated as well.
They are proposing legislation, they are proposing regulation, and it is not self-regulation. They present it to the Christian community as self-regulation, but it is not self-regulation. So I want you to understand this, and today we're going to be focusing on this issue that has generated significant debate around the church and about what the CRL Rights Commission wants to do. Is the government trying to regulate the church? What exactly is the CRL proposing? What does the Constitution say? Why should you as a pastor be concerned, and what should churches do moving forward? But above all of this, we're also going to check, is the motive behind what the CRL Rights Commission proposing a clear motive, and where is this coming from? Is this coming to convenience the church, or is it coming to inconvenience the church? But now look at it. The church has been caring for the poor. The church has established schools, has operated hospitals, has fought against injustice, has strengthened families, has provided counseling, has offered disaster relief, and promoted reconciliation. That is what the church has done in South Africa. And now the CRL comes with this to say there is so-called abuses in the church, but they don't speak about what has the church done and contributed in society. This is also another clip that I'm going to play to you, a clip whereby the CRL Rights Commission chairperson says that we know where the problem lies, that the problem lies with the church. That is why they are not going to focus on the Muslims, they are not going to focus on the Hindus. They are just going to establish a structure, a Section 22 structure for the Christian church or the Christian sector. And when you look at it, this is against freedom, our freedoms, because our freedoms are getting violated. This is against what the Constitution stands for. Are we truly going to allow the CRL Rights Commission and its Section 22 committee, or should I say it is not the Section 22 committee of the CRL, it is the Section 22 committee of Xaluva, because from what we have heard Xaluva say, she has actually handpicked these people who are part of this Section 22 committee. She speaks about how people who got nominated into that Section 22 were actually picked. She speaks about Dr. Jones, she speaks about Nozipo, she speaks about Reverend Khololo. And these are people that we see that these are people who have been handpicked by the chairperson. That is why we are saying that it is the Section 22 of the CRL Rights Commission chairperson, Thoko Mkhwanazi-Xaluva. It is not for the Christian sector. And it is right now whereby we see that the push for state control, it's intensifying, that what the CRL is trying to do, it is to completely silence the church, is to completely lock down the church. Because also some of the questions that were raised during the consultation process in Eastern Cape, the pastors, they said, where has this worked? Give us a survey, give us a benchmark where this has worked, whereby whatever that you are proposing to the church has actually worked, whatever that you are proposing to us has actually worked. And the Section 22 committee said they are not going to answer those questions. Those questions will be answered in their final document. But why is it already that you are already coming with a document? Who drafted the document? And we know that according to Reverend Musaqulu made it clear to say that that document, the drafting of the document, it was very, very much concerning, because the CRL Rights Commission chairperson was the one who chaired the meeting and who came and talked and made suggestions during the drafting of that Section 22 committee document, the self-regulatory draft framework. And it is very much concerning to see that this is what the CRL Rights Commission chairperson is pushing for. This is her mandate. This is what she wants, because during the tenure of other previous chairpersons of the CRL Rights Commission, it was never on the table. This thing came on the table because of the CRL Rights Commission chairperson, Thoko Mkhwanazi-Xaluva. 2017, she was the one that during her term, whereby they did a report on the commercialization of religion and the abuse of people's beliefs systems. And now she comes back again because she's appointed again, and she comes back to the church and she says, we are going to regulate you. We want a law, we want a legislation. And she says it is not a regulation, it is self-regulation. But if it is self-regulation, why do you involve parliament? Why do you involve the law in this thing? Why are you involving parliament in this thing? Because if it is truly self-regulation, isn't it that it's not supposed to have a legislation? The CRL chairperson is pushing for legislation. She's pushing that let there be a law that will therefore regulate the church. And the influence, who is influencing this? Is this coming from the church, or is this coming from an individual? And if this is not coming from the CRL Rights Commission chairperson, then where is it coming from? Because it is only during her chairmanship whereby this thing of church regulation is always presented, not under other people, not under the previous section, not under the previous chairpersons of the CRL Rights Commission, but during her tenure, during her time and her terms, it is only when this matter of church regulation is raised. And we ask ourselves, is this a personal agenda? What is this? And the people who are part of that Section 22 committee, the likes of Dr. John Maloma and Reverend Khololo, and also other pastors and church leaders who form part of the Section 22 committee, we have to truly ask ourselves, if you form part of this Section 22 committee, who is it that you are representing in that Section 22 committee? Because the church has actually been telling you that they don't want to be regulated. And if you are there, who is it that you are representing? Are you representing the church, or are you representing the CRL Rights Commission chairperson? And if you are saying that this is it's a standalone attempt, it's not a CRL sanctioned committee, we know that it is only the CRL, according to the CRL Act of 2002, that can be able to sanction such Section 22, to dish out the Section 22 committee. It is only through the CRL, not through any other means. And that means that this attempt by the CRL Rights Commission, it is actually being pushed by the CRL. It's not being pushed by the Christian community, it is being pushed by the CRL. It cannot be that there can be a Section 22 without the CRL. Whenever there is a Section 22 committee, that Section 22 committee has to be a Section 22 committee by the CRL and through the CRL and for the CRL Rights Commission. There is absolutely no way whereby there can be a Section 22 committee without the CRL. And also questions that were also asked during the Eastern Cape consultation processes. This was a very, very strong question to say, where is the funding coming from? Where is the money coming from? If you are saying that you are not funded by the CRL Rights Commission, but where is the money coming from? If the money is not coming from the CRL Rights Commission, if the money is not coming from the state, and we know that you cannot say that you are volunteering. You cannot volunteer, because you are driving, you are going to different hotels, you are going to different areas. Who is paying for those costs, and where is the money coming from if it's not coming from the CRL? And you say that this is not for the CRL, this is for the Christian sector, but is not funded by the Christian sector, it is funded by a state entity, because you can never separate the CRL from government. The CRL, it is a Chapter 9 institution, it falls under a government, and you have that Section 22 22 that they have now formed that is coming up with recommendations. And within that document, their draft document, they speak about the Council of Ethics and Accountability. That council, who is it who's going to sit in that council, and which standard are they going to use to vet, to approve? And the chairperson says that there is absolutely no way that you will be allowed to preach without a license. You will not be allowed to practice without a license. So who are those people who are going to sit over that committee and who are going to decide to say, we are giving you a license, we are not giving that one a license, we are giving this one a license? Who is it that will, which standard are they going to use to say, you qualify, you don't qualify, you qualify to preach, you don't qualify to preach? Because what they are doing now is that they are saying that they are going to be the ones who will have that ability to say, you will preach and you will not preach. And we know, according to the scriptures, that Jesus said, go ye into the world and preach the gospel. So our mandate comes directly from Jesus. We are not mandated by an umbrella body. We are not mandated by a council. We are not mandated by a license. We are mandated by Jesus Christ, whereby he said, go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to each and every creature. But what we see, it's more concerning, because you look at the CRL Rights Commission Chairperson, Thoko Mkhwanazi-Xaluva. How is it that those who are part of the Section 22 committee can sit under such a person and listen to such a person who has multiple times insulted the church on national platforms, on TV, on national TV, on radio, on podcast? She has continued to insult the church. The likes of Dr. John Maloma, the likes of Rev Khololo. How is it that you're able to sit there and support somebody who has insulted the church, and you are not able to call that person to order? You are defending the person. You are saying that you are not a part of the CRL, and therefore you cannot discuss what the CRL Rights Commission Chairperson is doing, but you are pushing her agenda. Dr. John Maloma, you are saying exactly what the CRL Rights Commission Chairperson has said, that you are envisioning, you have this vision, you are envisioning that let there be this council, and that council will be a council that whereby according to the chairperson of the CRL, licenses will be given to pastors, and they will have to be approved. Pastors will have to be approved in order for them to be able to preach. That is the language of the CRL Rights Commission Chairperson. That is exactly what she has been saying 2017 up until now. That is what she's been saying, that there has to be a council. But now that peer review proposal that she did, it now comes in the form of a council. Why is a draft document? You are saying that you're having a draft document. It's a discussion document. You call it a discussion document, and that discussion document already has the language of the CRL Rights Commission, but you are saying it's a discussion document. Actually, what you are saying to us, what you are saying to pastors, is that you have heard what the CRL Rights Commission Chairperson has been saying, and now we have this document, and this document is according to what the CRL Rights Commission Chairperson has been saying all along. Why are you pushing for legislation, and you do not want to be upfront with pastors to say, we want a law, we want to regulate? Just tell the pastors that what you are pushing for, it is legislation. It is not for self-regulation. It is legislation. It is a law, full stop. It is not self-regulation. Make it clear to pastors to say, after we have done these consultations, May of 2027, you are going to go back to Parliament, and you are going to have Parliament to say, this is our report, and this is what during the consultations, this is what happened, that this is what has to be approved by Parliament, so that they can be a law. The CRL Rights Commission Chairperson is not hiding it. She says it straight, that there has to be a law, there has to be regulation. And look at it, what is happening in China. Look at what is happening in China. This year, 8 pastors have been arrested in China because of preaching the gospel. 8 pastors. there is the law. And that is what the chairperson of the CRL has been saying. I'm going to play you the video. I'm going to play you the video now, whereby the chairperson of the CRL Rights Commission has been saying it, that without a license, you will not be allowed to preach. If you preach, there will be legal consequences. That is exactly what she's saying. And that is exactly what we see happening in China, that if you do not have the vetting, if you do not have the license, therefore you are arrested. That is exactly what she's been saying. And she said it, and she said it last year of 2025, where she came in February after she was appointed. She said, this thing there fell off the table. I'm here to bring it on the table. There must be legislation. There must be a law. You are pushing for a law. You are pushing for a legislation, and you are not being truthful about it. And you are working with somebody who has literally insulted the church. I want to take you through these comments and these remarks that have been made by the CRL Rights Commission chairperson. It is 10 commanded insults that are directed at the church, and I want you as a viewer to be able to decide for yourself to say, is this a person who can be able to sit there and say that she's representing the church, that she is for the church? These are the things that she has said. Number one, she has said that no one talks with God, and if you talk to God, you must be taken to a psychiatric hospital. Dr. John Maloma, Rev Hololo, Pastor Josh Macaulay, this is a person that you are willing to work with. Somebody who has said, if you say that you hear from God, you must be taken to a psychiatric hospital. This is somebody who's pushing for legislation. Really, can you truly believe that Thoko Mkhwanazi-Xaluva is for the church? If she can say it straight to say, if you say that you hear from God, you must be taken to a psychiatric hospital. And you say that that person is for protecting the church. She wants to protect the church against the vulnerable. No, she dismisses spiritual authority. She dismisses what what Christianity is all about, because Christianity is all about prayer. Christianity is all about talking to God. And if she's able to speak like this, and you, those who are part of the Section 22 committee, you are pastors and you claim that you hear from God, and the person who's pushing for the regulation of the church tells you, because she's telling you, she's not just telling us, she's telling you that if you say that you hear from God, you must be taken to a psychiatric hospital. That is a person that you, Dr. John Maloma, you are willing to work with, you are willing to push the agenda with. Number two, she says that people who say that they hear from God should be treated as mentally unstable. Right? This is very, very much concerning, because you can see it that what she's pushing for, it is to completely close down the church. Why is it? Has she ever apologized for such a statement? Has she ever apologized and come forward? Because one thing that she has said, I'm gonna play you the clip. She said she's not going to be apologetic. She's not going to apologize. That is what the CRL Rights Commission chairperson said. She said she's not going to be apologetic. She's not going to apologize. And that is the person that Dr. John Maloma is willing to support. That is the very same person that Dr. John Maloma is willing to say, no, this is somebody that we can be able to be connected with. Who came up with the Section 22 committee? The Section 22 committee came up with Thoko Mkhwanazi-Xaluva. Dr. John Maloma, you are representing Thoko Mkhwanazi-Xaluva, because it is Thoko Mkhwanazi-Xaluva who went on all national TV platforms and talked about the Section 22 committee. She's the one that went and connected with Professor Musaqulu and told Professor Musaqulu to say, I want you to be the chairperson of the Section 22 committee. And she said, according to Rev Musaqulu, that statement, she said that she was told by her ancestors that it is only Rev Musaqulu who will be able to push this agenda of the Section 22. When Rev Musaqulu resigned from the Section 22, he therefore said that there is an attempt by the CRL Rights Commission to put legislation and to put regulation on the table. That is one of the reasons why he resigned from the Section 22 committee. But Dr. John Maloma is willing to stand up and push that agenda of the Section 22, that agenda that has been proposed by Thoko Mkhwanazi-Xaluva. Tell me here, where was it? Where have you ever seen it whereby during other chairpersons of the CRL Rights Commission, there were other people who were coming out to say, let us regulate the church. There were other people who are coming out to say that we need a Section 22 committee. It is only the chairperson of the CRL who has formed a Section 22 committee. That Section 22 committee, it is Xaluva's Section 22 committee. It is not the Section 22 committee of the church for the church. It is Xaluva's Section 22 committee, because those people are people who she handpicked. Number 3, the chairperson of the CRL Rights Commission, she says that churches are a circus and a circus that must be stopped.
Angels were waving back. I assume they're underwear as well. We're supposed to say, oh, they don't want to be regulated. The situation doesn't work that way. If you're going to pass a law against drug lots, you don't ask drug lots if you do like to be regulated. Yes. Why is it different here? Why must we be driven by what religious leaders want? And once those individuals are being asked, would you like to be regulated or not? Of course, they'll say, yes, this is a circus for them. They are having fun. They can do anything they want. That's why you need to deal with the pastor. Now, if we're going to be asking religious leaders if you want to be held accountable, yes or no, we're not going to find solutions that the CRL must push in whatever way possible, even if it means going to court to force Parliament to pass legislation. This circus can't go on forever. Yeah. But this circus can't go on forever.
These are things that the chairperson of the CRL Rights Commission has said, not only once, not only twice. She has said this more than 3 times. She has said that this circus, calling a church a circus, and we have people who are form part of that Section 22 committee who say that they want to be part of that Section 22 committee, and they want to consult. They want to consult the church. You want to consult the circus, because the chairperson of the CRL Rights Commission says that the church is a circus that must be stopped, that this circus cannot continue. She says that Christians are liars and they are crazy. Those are the people that you want to consult, Dr. John Maloma, the people that the chairperson of the CRL Commission, the people that the Section 22 committee represent, who she labels them to be lunatics. She labels the church people to be crazy. She labels them to be liars. The chairperson of the CRL Rights Commission says that Christians are liars, that Christians are crazy, that Christians should be taken to a psychiatric hospital, that Christians, that churches are a circus. She says that Christians are cows. She calls Christian cows, and that is the person whereby the likes of Dr. John Maloma is saying that she is for the church and she's representing the church. Look at it. That what the CRL Rights Commission is pushing for, it is legislation. It is the regulation of the church. Are we truly going to allow the likes of Dr. John Maloma and Thoko Mkhwanazi-Xaluva to be the ones who come with such a proposal? You know, where she says that religious leaders have become ridiculous. She says that pastors have become ridiculous. That is somebody that you, Dr. John Maloma, that whole Section 22 committee, that you believe that person is for the church. She says that religious leaders have become ridiculous. She says pastors have become ridiculous. So when she looks at you, when you go into meetings with her, I want you to know that this is a person that says that religious leaders have become ridiculous. This is a person that has said that angels are waving their underwears. that angels are waving their underwears. That is a person who is part of the push for state control of the church. And truly, therefore, you will believe that such a person is for the church, that such a person is representing the church. These statements that suggest that pastors must not be consulted on matters of regulation because they are the ones that are enjoying the circus that is happening in the church. When you describe a church to be a circus, when you say pastors are enjoying the circus, these are insults that are directed at the church, and those insults have been said by the chairperson of the CRL Rights Commission. Do you truly believe Dr. John Maloma? Do you truly believe Rev Hololo? Do you truly believe those who are part of the Section 22 committee? Do you truly believe that Thoko Mkhwanazi-Xaluva is for the church, is representing the church, wants to protect people in the church? If someone wants to protect people from the church, she was not going to be making such remarks. She was not going to be saying such things. I'm going to play you a clip right now. I'm going to play you a video whereby the CRL Rights Commission chairperson is calling upon the traditional healers to come to her rescue because she is making statements that are so scary you wonder if she is inciting violence against Christians, because she says, you traditional healers, you sangomas, you are quiet when this is happening, and I'm there and I'm representing you, and all of those are the things that she's saying to say this is what is happening. I'm going to play you the clip. She is actually rallying are traditional healers to be people who will come to her defense. And this is what you see, someone who's inciting violence against the church, against the body of Christ, to say, go and fight my battles for you. Go and fight my battles for me. The person who's supposed to promote, the person who's supposed to protect your religious beliefs, this is the very same person who goes there and dismisses testimonies of believers who say that they hear from God, who suggesting that people who say that they hear from God must be taken to a mental hospital, who describes churches as circus, who calls Christians cows, who calls Christian liars, who suggests that pastors must not be consulted on matters regarding church regulation because they are the ones who are benefiting from the circus that is happening. She refers to Christianity as a thing that must be regulated. She speaks about underwear, about angels waving their underwears. She speaks about statements that Christians are under the spell of pastors, and she says that pastors are enjoying the circus that is happening. That is a person that is proposing the regulation of the church. How can you believe that such a person is for the church? Is such a person is concerned about the church? What we see, it is hatred. Is this hatred towards the church? Is this jealousy towards the church? What makes a person to be able to say such comments, to say such things, to say such remarks, to say such sentences to someone who's supposed to represent an office? An office. She's in an office. She's a Chapter 9 chairperson. She is a Chapter 9 institution chairperson. She's representing the CRL Rights Commission, a commission that has been set to promote and to protect. But this is what she's saying. Are we here seeing a hatred towards another group? A group like Christians, whereby someone has hatred against Christians, and now because of that hatred, they have decided to use their office in order for them to silence Christians, in order for them to curb the mushrooming of charismatic churches. This is somebody that you say is for the church. When such a person is making such statements against the church, and therefore you believe that that person is for the church? Do you truly believe that the CRL Rights Commission chairperson is truly for the church? The CRL Rights Commission chairperson is worried about what is happening in the church? No, she's not. If she's able to say such statements, believe you me, she's not. She's not for the church. If she begins to dismiss spiritual authority, dismiss us as Christians, dismiss what we stand for, dismiss what we are, then you believe that this is somebody who's representing the church. I call upon you, pastors, I call upon you, servants of God, to stand up, because what the CRL Rights Commission chairperson is pushing for, she's pushing to stop the church from operating. That is what she's pushing for. If she's able to say such statements, and she has never apologized whatsoever. She said she's not going to be apologetic. She said she's not going to resign. She said that the train keeps moving, and the CRL Section 22 committee is part of the train. They are the ones who are pushing for the agenda of the regulation of the church, even though pastors have been insisting and telling them to say, we do not want the church to be regulated. The matter is before the courts, the matter is before parliament. But Thoko Mkhwanazi-Xaluva, the Section 22 committee, they are still pushing for this law. And mind you, listen to what Thoko Mkhwanazi-Xaluva says. She says that pastors are ridiculous. She says that pastors must never be consulted about the regulation of the church. Listen to that, and listen to this part whereby she says she's not going to resign. She's not going to be apologetic. She's not going anywhere. That is what she's saying. Ask yourself those questions. Ask yourself that question to say, is Thoko Mkhwanazi-Xaluva representing the church? Dr. John Maloma, have you ever called Thoko Mkhwanazi-Xaluva to order to say, stop insulting the church? Go and apologize to the church. Go and humble yourself before the church and apologize. Why is the CRL Rights Commission chairperson not willing to apologize for such statements that she has made on national television? I'm calling upon you, servants of God, to stand up. We are going to our march in Limpopo. We are going to be marching in the streets of Limpopo, because we cannot allow such people who say such things about the church, people who say such things about what we believe in, to be the ones who will come back and say, we are going to regulate you. Under which spirit are they operating? Under which spirit is she operating in? Those who say that they are pastors and they are part of the Section 22 committee, do you discern the spirit here? Do you discern the motive here? Do you discern what the CRL Rights Commission chairperson is talking? Do you discern her authority? Where is she coming from? Is she sincere when she's talking about like this? Is she sincere when she's raising such comments? Do you truly believe that the CRL Rights Commission chairperson is for the church? When you analyze these statements that I'm telling you about, that this is what she's saying. This is what she's saying about the body of Christ. This is what she's saying about you. So today, we are analyzing the statements of the CRL Rights Commission. What she has said, what she's pushing for, and what she's standing for. She's not standing for the church. She's not standing for the Christian sector. She has her own agenda, because she's not coming to say, let us sit on the table, let us discuss this matter. She's coming to the church. She says, I will regulate you because you say that you hear from God. I will regulate you because you as a church, you are ridiculous. I will regulate you because you Christians are liars. You Christians are lazy, are crazy. This is what a Chapter 9 institution chairperson has been saying against the church. I call upon you to stand up as a Christian. I call upon you to voice out and to resist the agenda that is being pushed. The church right now in China cannot operate. People in servants of God, they are preaching underground. There's an underground church. People are scared to preach because of the laws that have been passed in China. Look at Rwanda. Over 10,000 churches have been closed, and the president of Rwanda said, according to him, he would close down every church. This is the agenda that has been pushed. This is what we see, what Alice Bailey stood for. We know that the 10 points of Alice Bailey to get a government to endorse, to get the church to endorse such laws, and to pass such laws. And we have those who are part of this, who want to have the church closed, and they are under the guise of protecting the vulnerable. But you come with a law. Why don't you take those people to the police station and have them open up cases? But you want to have a law, you want to have a legislation, which you know that legislation can close down churches, can lead to a mass closure of churches. When you compare the population of Rwanda to the population of South Africa, and you compare the two, that if such laws are passed, it will mean that over 100,000 churches will be closed in South Africa because of such laws. Are we going to allow our freedoms, our constitutional freedoms, to be violated by people who are like this, people who are not representing the church, people who are saying such statements against the church? Are we truly going to believe that Thoko Mkhwanazi-Xaluva and those who are part of the Section 22 committee are for the church when they have uttered such statements? Where Thoko Mkhwanazi-Xaluva has uttered such statements, where is this coming from? Where does this come from? This comes from the CRL Rights Commission Chairperson. The Section 22 committee, Dr. John Maloma, does not come from you. The Section 22 committee comes from the Chairperson of the CRL. It is absolutely clear that it is not coming from you. It is coming from the Chairperson of the CRL. That is why you are not even the first Chairperson of the Section 22. You became appointed as the Chairperson of the Section 22 because Reverend Musakulu resigned. So you are not the first one to be there on that seat. You are not the first one to be appointed as the Section 22 committee chairperson. The first person who was appointed resigned because he saw what was being pushed for. It was for the violation of Christians and our freedoms, and the violation of the Constitution, basically, because what the CRL chairperson is standing for, it is the violation of our freedoms. So I call upon you to stand up as a church. I call upon you to stand up as pastors, to voice out your concerns about what the chairperson and the Section 22 committee is pushing for. They are pushing for a law. They are pushing for legislation. Do not be fooled. The CRL Rights Commission chairperson, the Section 22 committee, they are pushing for a law. That is why they are saying they will have to go to Parliament, and they will have Parliament to pass in legislation, to pass in a law. Thank you very much. My name is Pastor Faith Masunyane, and thank you for joining me for this Church Defenders podcast. And I say to you, let us meet on the 10th of August for our Limpopo Provincial Christian March. God bless you, and bye-bye.